What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf. All right, more videos. Told you they were coming in this new 2023 is the way to be. Sucker free. All right, never forget Equitas and Veritas. All right, truth and equality for all. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the 20 secrets that the police don't want you to know. All right. So, before we get started, make sure that Are you done? All right, so before we get started, I want to make sure that we thank everybody out there for watching all the videos and for coming here and spending your time and checking out Black Site 32. All right, so appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe, and we will get started with the video momentarily. All right, so the 20 secrets that police officers do not want you to know. In other words, knowing your rights. Now, hopefully in the next week or two, if the individual is so willing, we will have a retired decorated police officer on the channel talking about your rights. All right. I won't go into details right now. I don't know if they're already out there in the public, in the private, whatever, helping those people. But we're not going to be asking necessarily questions in relationship to what we're doing to they're doing, but what they're doing. So if they want to come on the show, they will be welcome. And if somebody else out there wants to appear and they've got some valuable, good information that has been vetted, especially if you're somebody on the or was on the inside, you're more than welcome to share your information. Somebody has any tips, tricks, or whatever else from the various agencies that can be shared in the public, you're more than welcome to drop me the information. Otherwise, if you want to talk in private, we can do that as well. Nothing, on the high end of information, because we all know that things get, monitored and whatnot. So we don't want to get in any trouble, all right, then. But anything else that's close and juicy and still yet not classified as, then feel free to reach out. Otherwise, let's get going. Remember, you guys can check out more of my information on YouTube under James C. Lovett, all one word, on YouTube, or @ the Bad Wolf. Patreon under James C. Lovett, blacksite32.com, and also on Rumble. All right, but I don't think Rumble has all of my videos. All right, so 1. The police cannot enter your residence without a warrant or your consent. Now, make sure you understand your particular areas, your particular status or standing in your area, because though I'm saying all this information and it's considered education and entertainment, depending on how you have yourself set up, you might be party or in contract to allowing them to come in. Okay? Now, take my residence, my private domicile, if you will, is transferred into a micronation, and it's held under trust. And I've got signs on my property informing those for-profit corporations known as police stations, police officers, federal agents, whatever else, that this is not federal or state property. This is in fact private and foreign to their jurisdiction, which violates international law should they even step foot on property. Okay? So if you have not done the same or more, then yeah, you might be subject, because they have the right by what's known as implied license to come on your property because you don't have anything saying that they can't. And remember, they are agencies. They are corporations. They are not the government who has absolute rule. Okay? They rule over what is theirs. Now, this does not mean to be rude or anything like that to them, but know your rights and know what's going on. So one of the reasons why is because, I mean, there are very few exceptions to that. Let me say this correctly. So if you are harboring Mookie, Peanut, Man, Wayne, Junebug, and all of them, then they're going to come in and do what they got to do. Okay, but more so, it's if they follow them and they go into your house, or they're in the active pursuit of them and they run up in your house. Then yeah, they have that because that's an active scenario. 2, the police do not have the right to look through your phone, even when you're in custody. It is private property. Unless, of course, you are confirming that you are a U.S. citizen, then pretty much grab your ankles and go to your happy place. All right, that's what it is. So they cannot search without a warrant. Now, this also goes, unless you are admitting to being a U.S. citizen, okay, then of course a bench warrant would apply to you. But that is also inside the corporation. It is not judicial. It is not signed by an Article 3 judge, a licensed judge. Okay, Mozart, getting a little loud here. It's supposed to be background noise. I'm supposed to be the front noise, okay? Okay, mine? Police officers can legally lie to you. Legal means inside the corporation, which means that if they think you're inside the corporation, which is why they have you, they can lie to you. Well, they can lie all the time. They're just people, first of all, and there's no law against it. All right? So they can lie. They can say they found some of your DNA. They can say your buddy just told everything on you. I'm not providing legal advice or counsel in this matter. I'm just giving you information. They can also, speaking of DNA, they can also trick you into giving them your DNA. Okay? So if you're saying you're reserving your rights, which you do have the ability to say, no, I'm not going to give you any of this, any of that, no blood, no this, and then they bring you down to the jail. Okay. Now, first of all, you should be asking to speak to the magistrate if you know who and what you are. But if you're a U.S. citizen, it is just what it is. But while you're there, if you are, they're like, oh, hey, do you want a soda pop? Well, we just call them sodas here, but I know in the South, you Southerners, you guys want a pop? Then, yeah, they can get your DNA off of that. What if can I go and use the water fountain? I know some of you guys call it the bubbler, some call it the fountain, whatever. Up here in the Midwest, it's a bubbler because it bubbles water out. A fountain, like a mountain, shoots water up into the air. Fountain. So, if you go to use one, you touch it, you've just given them your DNA. Okay? Although they like a better DNA straight from you in the mouth. So, if they might ask you for a smoke. Yeah, right. What's on a cigarette butt? All your mouth juices. All right. And also be aware that speaking of that, they can also get it from any DNA kits you might have submitted. Paternity tests. All that good jazz. All right, number 7. You are legally allowed to film and photograph them. They may not like it, but it is not illegal. They get recorded every day passing by ATMs, their own systems. They all should have body cams, and those body cams, they should be held liable if they happen to go out right at the time when something occurred, because that's an admission. To me, it's an admission of guilt that the camera just happened to go out, especially if there's multiple guys and all their cameras go out at the same time. Just saying, because there are some dirty cops out there. But there also are some really good ones out there, and I've got some who are friends and family and people I've even helped change their status with, so that's awesome. But good cops, remember, how much better are you than them if you keep quiet and don't drop a dime on the ones to internal services or the federal government to let them know what's going on? We can't do it alone. The system has you guys plaguing us against you, when in fact it's all of us, even the dirty cops, are also nationals. We're being pitted against each other. So wake up. Know thyself, know thy enemy. Or are you not that wise? All right. Going on. And they can't ask you to delete your videos or photos without a warrant. Now, we do know that there are certain agencies who will pop up, usually all dressed in, who will ask you to do that. Now, that is just a matter of your safety. If they're asking you to if they're asking you to do it, just do it. Okay? But if it's a police officer, a for-profit corporation owned by somebody's family and board members, not actually a judicial thing, but a legislative thing, they do not have the right to do that without a warrant from not a bench warrant, but an actual warrant from a judicial judge. Article 3, signed, notarized, all the proper seals and everything on there. Okay, next. Now here, you have to pay attention to the words. Not all states require that you show an officer identification. Once again, if you're operating as a U.S. citizen, their plates are this, they're that, you've signed stuff, U.S. citizen, woo, then yes, you must abide by your state laws. Otherwise, the states do not own you. Okay? If you have their stuff and you're saying you're them and you have no objection to that, then they own you. You are cannon fodder. All right? At the end of the day, even the states themselves are just corporations. They all have Dun & Bradstreet or corporate EINs and whatever else. They're corporate corporations. All right? So, are you required to show your ID? Most of which no, especially if you have not committed a crime. Walking around and them saying, well, we just want to get an idea of who's in the area is not a crime. You have to be in an active pursuit or business or engaging in a crime for most places. Otherwise, they're denying you of your right to travel, which is a federal offense. 1983 deprivation of rights, 241, 242. Now, if you're traveling internationally, which you could argue that being done here, you are legally obligated to show those authorities in that area because they own it. It's them. We have a very special thing going on here in the United States of America, but it is not the same in other places. If you're in Australia and the cop says, show it to me, show it to them. You don't have your rights and you have protections when you're out and about, but you do not have your USA rights there because it's not USA unless you're on a USA owned territory, building, or etc. Police do have the right to search any abandoned property. If you leave something unattended or that can't be proven that it's yours, it's considered abandoned. They can go through it. Always remember everything, number 11, everything you say can and will be used against you. So if you're talking to them, we've talked to lawyers, and most of the lawyers all said the same thing. 3 things you need to know when dealing with police. Shut up, and don't say a word. This does not mean go mute. What this means is that if they ask you, hey, can you confirm this address? Can you confirm this? Sir, can that information be used against me at any future point in time? Yes. All right, well then I have the right to not incriminate myself. This is not an admission of guilt or innocence. I am just pleading the fifth. I've got that right. I've got right to counsel. Okay, well I need to see your ID. Have I committed a crime? If not, am I free to go? Okay? These are your things. So anything you say can be used against you. They can lie to try to trick you into giving away information. Claiming your right does not mean being a mute. Does not mean just going and hoping it goes away. I mean, typically as long as you say, I don't answer questions, here's this, here's my ID, I don't answer questions, they'll leave you alone. As long as you're not in the act of committing an actual crime. And running lights, for the love of God. Stop doing that out there, people. That's just dumb. Speeding, also just dumb. But those are also not crimes. Now, running, speeding away from a crime is a crime. Okay? Oh. And for those people out there who think I don't know a little something about how you guys operate, oh, what's this? The Law Officer's Pocket Manual. You guys keep this after you've been trained in the academy, because what? I've got friends and family who are cops, so I know these things. And then there's the Police Manual of Arrest and Seizure and Interrogation. And then the Police Misconduct Book and some other ones I have here. So yes, I study these things. That's also why I know in your manuals we are referred to as foreign nationals. And you don't have jurisdiction over foreign manuals operating peacefully. So there. All right. Unless you have been arrested or are being detained, even being detained is actually, unless you've committed a crime and they're just detaining you, that is a custodial stop. That is deprivation of your rights. They have the right to talk to you, but they do not have the right to stop you. So you can always ask, am I being detained or am I free to go? They don't like to say you're being detained, because then that means that they're saying you've been stopped and you're being literally detained, which means you don't have the right to go, which means it is a violation of your constitutional rights. They can talk to you. Yeah, we can talk and walk. They don't like that either, but we're not here to make it so they like it. See, the problem is not the good people. The cops give a hard time to the average good person out there who just wants to be left alone. But the average person out there is operating as a U.S. citizen who wants the rights and freedoms that they were born with as a national, but they're operating as a U.S. citizen. That's why. A officer does not have any rights whatsoever to stop a national as long as they're not doing anything to a criminal or denying or depriving someone else of their rights who is a U.S. citizen or another national. Okay, so you have the right to leave a police station or whatever. They cannot hold you against your will. This is thanks to the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Because you have the right to protect yourself against self-incrimination. The police aren't required to read you your remand rights if you aren't being detained. The moment you're being detained, they have to read them. Now, that does not necessarily mean that this is a slam dunk because they didn't read you your rights and you can get everything dropped. But has that happened? Yes. Because okay, so as written, when it comes to non-custodial interrogations, meaning they're just talking to you. The police are not required to read you the rights. But other than that, if they're arresting you, putting cuffs on you, they have to read you your rights. Because why? Because you're also a national and you are also a protected citizen. You also have the right to look at any search warrants or whatever else. Make sure that it's signed by an actual licensed judge. All the proper seals are there and they're the right size. Not stamped. Okay? It can't be a stamp. Wedding signature, not a copy. Officers with search warrants almost always have to knock before they enter a house or a premise. Also, for people who get pulled over for just their plates being foreign, that is a violation of your right to travel, violation of international law. Police need probable cause to pull you over. They do not have the right to pull you over without probable cause. And this comes from Dallas criminal attorney Mick Michelson. If they do pull you over without a reason to do so and subsequently find evidence of a crime in your car, they usually can't use that evidence in court against you. So keep that in mind. A police officer can give you a speeding ticket based on their visual observations. But the problem with that is that's not a fact. There's no fact. They have zero proof of exactly. Now, if they say, yeah, you look like you're going fast, keep in mind that they don't have to show you the radar gun either. So take your ticket and fight it later on. Because here's the thing. Even though they're trained visually how to do it, that is not 100%. If it's not 100%, then it's not fact. If it's not fact, then you cannot base a ticket or whatever else off of a guess. That's hearsay, and hearsay is not admissible in court. Police officers are also not familiar with all of the laws. First of all, they're only trained typically in traffic laws, and those laws are actually regulations for U.S. citizens and federal and state employees. They do not know constitutional law. They do not know private or common law. But in order for you to enact those or to utilize those, you need to be moving the proper way and having your travel binder. Now, it is harassment for them to even bother you if you have not done anything because you have private plates or foreign plates or whatever else on, and they just want to see who you are. That does not mean it's okay. Okay? Just like the creepy uncle at the Christmas party, he wants to show you his rock collection and starts rubbing your shoulders. That does not mean it's okay. And if somebody is out there touching you or abusing you and you are watching this, do whatever it takes to contact an authority or somebody or a family member. Okay? It's not right. All right. Even police officers do not always trust their own fellow men in uniform or women in uniform. A lot of times they have what's known as the blue line of secrecy or the blue veil. This is where they keep things private. Now here's what internally happens. Somebody does something, another guy says, hey, you're not going to snitch on me, right? Back the blue, protect the blue. The blue line, right? It's us against them. Even though they've seen that officer do shady or dirty things. Nobody's perfect, but when they're denying other people and you are working with them, then you're just as bad as the ones whose secrets you are keeping. So that is why they have internal services. Okay. Now here's some other things I learned about cops and stuff like that. I won't give away all of the goodies, but we're just going to say that a lot of them, we said don't know like constitutional law. That's one thing. So they don't know a lot of stuff. They're not taught that. Because the upper elites and whoever else and who are organized, the boards and whoever else, they want the officers to be able to do their duty without having a conflict of interest. How can you as a national who was born here as a Californian, Floridian, New Yorker, Wisconsinite, whatever it is, Texan, how can you do your job as a police officer knowing that you're working for a private, corporate-owned entity and you only have jurisdiction over U.S. citizens, and then yet you deny certain other people, foreign people, nationals, and whoever else, their rights to travel? Now, there are a lot of good cops out there who know what this is and see it, and, as long as you're good, they're good. That's the way it should be. Don't touch mine, I won't touch yours. Unless you're into that kind of thing. So, a lot of the good cops are just afraid to stand up to the bad cops because then they get outed. I also know that most of these agencies do not hire no offense to the good cops out there, but I've seen many cases where somebody who's got a super high IQ is turned down from being a cop. A lot of times they go after the ones who are ex-military and whatever else, because those are the ones who are going to do a don't think but listen and act job out there. Your standard police officer today is not the local good-hearted Andy Taylor Mayberry down the block, your best friend's father. Okay, they're militarized, and for people who seem, not all of them, but for those who seem to not like black, why do you dress in black? Why do you write in black? Why are the judges in black? Don't like black but want to be in it. I don't get it. Because there's symbolisms there. Okay? So, remember, also another thing too is that not just because they're wearing a police officer uniform doesn't mean that all of them had top grades. Okay? So, just like a doctor, just because he's a doctor doesn't mean he got all A's. All right? Some of them barely passed. Some of them were, let by or through. So at the end of the day, remember this, though, about your police officers. They're not all bad people. I've seen a lot of good officers leave the force, which is disheartening. Some family included, friends. And what does that leave? Your diehards or the tryhards. All right? So, nonetheless, they're still people. And so try to give them some respect, give them their due. But remember, if you're operating the proper way, they shouldn't be bothering you. And if they do, you take them to federal court and go after their bonds, go after their insurance. And you only do that if you have provable damage. If not, then it can be turned on you, and then you're the reason why we're not taken seriously. Okay? And remember, for those officers and whoever else who watch these videos, because I know you guys do, talk to your commanding officers, talk to your chief of police, tell them you want to speak to them in the private, ask them about constitutional law. Ask them why each state gave up a percentage of its complete sovereignty, if you will, use your guys' words, to be under the Union, and they are held by that the Constitution and Supreme Court are the reigning laws. So you are policy enforcers. Policy. Policy. Policies are for what? Corporations. Asks them why you always, 100% of the time, have to fill out the perpetrator or perpetrator's name in all capitalized letters, which binds you also to the court system. And the court system uses this book. And this book is called Black Law's Dictionary. And Black Law's Dictionary underneath what's known as Capitis Demutia Maxima. Please bear with me. Thank you for staying around this long. Let me get there. Caveats. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so capitalize, to convert. Capitis Dimutia Maxima. The full loss or partial reduction of rights by the use of the capitalized lettering. And there's 3 levels to it. So there you go. You can hate me now, but I won't stop now, because I can't stop now. Bad boy for life. All right, so that's it, guys. 20 secrets the police officers do not want you to know. All right. Now, were they super internal secrets? No, of course not, because I'm not a police officer. And if I was, I probably wouldn't share that, because that's just me. I'm loyal to those people. But at the same time, we are not going to trample on people's rights and freedoms, nor the Constitution of the flag for my country, America. God bless America and all Americans and all nationals. God have mercy on you, U.S. citizens. All right, that's it, guys. I'm out. Badwolf has more videos to make, so if you like the content here, please hit that bell, like, subscribe. You know what to do. I will talk to you guys later. Over and out.